Samuel 1 through 3. It's actually a very amusing, in a dry kind of a way, trio of chapters which involve the same characters throughout, but at different stages in their lives and different events and so forth. And basically what it shows is God's sovereignty and faithfulness in responding to human need, often through unexpected means, while establishing divine purposes. Now, I beg to differ with the use. Actually, by the time you guys see this video, I will have sung on Wednesday night with Mel the song Great is Thy Faithfulness. But be that as it may, I don't think it's the right word. I don't think it's the right word to explain the nature of God. Let me give you a few that I might suggest instead. Steadfastness, constancy, his unchanging nature, and immutability. If you're not familiar with that word, immutability, it's just a synonym for what you're trying to get at with steadfastness. But what you actually see is our faithfulness in God or not, different characters in the Bible and their faithfulness in God or not, and the consequences in terms of their relationship with God and what happens as God tries to bring them back to being more faithful in Him. So in chapter 1, Hannah is desperately trying to have a baby, causing her great personal distress because it's just not happening. Hannah's prayers, there's this character Eli here, which is the wife of Hannah, and he's got a couple of kids that are actually priests, Jewish priests, and then he has, with Hannah, he has Samuel. Now, Eli is a very interesting and amusing character because he is so much not in tune with what is going on with the people closest to him. He's completely ignorant of what's going on in their lives. He sees Hannah apparently mumbling, and he tells her to put the bottle of wine away, when actually what she's doing is praying very emotionally to God because she wants to have a baby. Then in chapter 2, you have two sons of Eli, who are actually priests, but they're pretty ungodly in their behavior, and he doesn't really seem to know what's going on or care that his kids are not representing him well and not representing anybody very well in our relationship with God. And then in chapter 3, Samuel, he's a kid, and he keeps hearing Samuel, Samuel, or something like that. I don't know. Pretty corny the way that God's voice is often often represented in a actually kind of in a pompous way. A lot of times, it's sad actually. But he's, God is calling to Samuel, Samuel, and Samuel comes running to Eli. Dad, what is it? And Eli's like, I didn't call you. And it happens 3 times, and then finally, Eli gets what's going on, because this was a very dry period in the relationship between God and his people. There just wasn't a whole lot of communication or activity or events going down at this particular time. So it wasn't so common that somebody would hear God's voice, kind of like the times that we're living in right now. But he says, oh, I know what this is. Listen, Samuel, when you hear the voice next time, it's God, and you will be in one heck of a lot of trouble if you don't come here and tell me exactly everything that he said. All of a sudden, Eli's involved. All of a sudden, it's important to him. So give him credit. Give him credit there. Anyway, what's actually happening here is that God is involved in people's lives, but God is unchanging. He is immutable. He is steadfast. So how does that work? God's nature intervenes in the messes that we get into, that we call our lives. And that's what's happening in Samuel 1 through 3. Lesson here is persistent prayer and trust in God can lead to miraculous provision, even in the face of despair. Don't ever... I've heard, look, you already asked for that from God. Do you think that he needs for you to continuously... God needs to know that it's important to you, that it's not just a one-off. It's actually something that's very much affecting your life and that you feel very strongly about. Yeah. Pray about it every day. And understand that God rewards those who are patient and wait. Abraham as an example, and there are others. So that's really basically it. That's Samuel 1 through 3. God is sovereign. God is steadfast. God will interact with us and have relationship and involvement in our lives. And that experience will be better to the degree that we are faithful ourselves to an always loving, always constant and unchanging God who is sovereign and can very easily make wonderful miracles appear and make other things disappear. And that's why we're here, right? Because that's what we believe and that's what we know to be true, because we have seen, all of us, to greater or lesser degree, God's activity in our lives, God's response to our prayers. You know you have. So that's what I've got on Samuel 1 through 3. Keep praying, like it says behind me. Anyway, you might want to go back and read Philippians 4:6. Okay. If anybody wants to know how to pray, it's right there. But let God hear from you. And I will look forward to seeing you later in the week. Thanks for checking in, and you make it all worthwhile.